Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you with another awesome week in figure review. Today we are going over the Toybiz Marvel Legends Giant Man series Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth. And I'm really glad that I came across this one. I checked Big Bad Toy Store, Dorkside Toys, and Megaopolis, and it is not available because this is an older figure. So the options to pick this one up is either first check with your local comic shop, because I know a lot of the times, they'll have a lot of older Marvel Select, well, not Marvel, so yeah, they'll have Marvel Select toys, and then sometimes they'll have some of these older Toybiz. But if not, then you have to do the secondary market of like eBay. That's where I found this one. So good luck to you guys. That's why I always say happy hunting. But as you can see here, within you get the figure. You see the little window here where you get Sabretooth, and then the leg for Giant Man, which is really cool. And then what I really love about these older figures like this is this comes with a reprint of Astonishing X-Men #2 from the Age of Apocalypse. So if you couldn't find the original ones, you at least get to read issue 2, which is a really entertaining comic, which, as I've been saying, we will go back over the Age of Apocalypse in the near future. Just trying to get all those videos re-uploaded is slow going. You flip it around here to the side, there's not much because these are, as you call, the bubble pack or the blister pack. Not much to see there. You come around to the back, you get a fun little read-up, which I will make sure to get where you guys can pause and read it. Same thing with the figures from the wave, and then you get all the legal mumbo-jumbo here, which, who cares? And then, you kind of come around here to the top, which is kind of hard to see, but you see where it says Giant Man Series and all that good stuff. On the bottom, nothing more. So, without further ado, now that we've kind of had the fancy walk around the box, let's get Victor Creed out of his box and get a closer look at this Age of Apocalypse figure. And here's Victor Creed out of his packaging, and I have to say, guys, that for an older figure, I really love the bulk of this guy, because this is how Sabretooth should look, big and gnarly, especially in a post-apocalyptic world where the only the strong survive, or whatever it is Apocalypse says. This is definitely a great rendition of Victor Creed for this era. And then this chain right here, sadly he doesn't come with any accessories, but this is the chain from Wild Child, so you guys can guess which review is going to be coming up next. But yeah, you put that in his hands, and this definitely looks like that cover from Astonishing X-Men #2, where he's jumping at a Holocaust and he has the chains in his hand. Heck yeah, guys, this is a great figure thus far. I'm really excited, and I'm so glad that I was able to find one. So with all the gushing aside and just seeing how cool he looks when you start to pose him, let's get him off the spinner and let's start taking a closer look at all of his paint apps and his articulation and all the good stuff that we love in our action figures. So some backstory on the Earth 295 Victor Creed is his first appearance was X-Men Alpha #1, which was a lot of the majority of the X-Men's first appearances, but there's a few here and there, so I just wanted to kind of reference that so people keep saying, why do you bring up X-Men Alpha? It's because where a majority of our characters were introduced. Now, in X-Men Alpha, majority of these people like Sabretooth, Wild Child, Morph, and all them are already part of the X-Men. However, if we go back to X-Men Chronicles #1, we find that Creed here was initially a part of Apocalypse's, the 4 Horsemen, I think they were. It was him, Kendra, I think Gideon, and then there was someone else I can't remember off the top of my head. But at the end of Chronicles #1, Apocalypse deems him unfit because he loses to Weapon X, and he's kind of left to his own devices. So we jump forward to X-Men Chronicles #2, and we see that he's a part of the X-Men, and that's where we see, like the comic book that this one comes with, Astonishing X-Men #2, where he has taken on the father figure of both Blink and Wild Child. And so that's kind of a quick rundown of this universe's Creed. But let's go ahead and jump into the paint apps, and I gotta say, guys, upon further inspection of this guy, he looks great. You would think that's just too much gold and yellow and browns, but it works perfect because, Creed is more supposed to be like a nature, kind of like, Wolverine, more beastie. So using those colors really helps, and I love the grimace on his face. The one thing, because he has the black pupil and the gold iris, I do wish, just like with the Hasbro's Weapon X, I wish instead, because most of the time when you see Sabretooth and Weapon X as what do you call it? Vicious. Their eyes, you see the white, which is the iris. Is that right? Let me know down in the comments because my anatomy apparently is sucking. But yeah, I think these would be a lot more. Oops, sorry, the focus decided to go jumping on me. I think these would look a lot more menacing if you just would have kept the eyes white. But nonetheless, and then you come up here, and I like. Now the one thing I do kind of wish is because Sabretooth's hair is more blonde in the books, but you can kind of see where they kind of dry brushed it on in there, so you can kind of see it all the way down through the ponytail, which is really nice. But I feel like the hair is just a little too brown for me. But I'll let that slide because I think I like the way the eyebrows just grimace down, and he has that look about him. And then just like all the Age of Apocalypse characters, I love how they have all these metal links around their chests. The majority of Magneto, Morph, Sunfire, Rogue, all of them have this on there, and I think that looks good, especially the silver with the black wash, and the same with the gold has that black wash to make it look more rustic. I like the brown wash within the yellow to kind of just give it an offset look, and then it really works with the belt here, and especially with the gold wash on the ponytail. I think that looks good as well. And I love these cuffs. You get this silver going on, and again you get that black in there. Skin tone looks great, has a little bit of pink into it just to add some offset to it, and I like how the muscles are very defined. Come around to the back, same thing here. I like how everything just ripples, and then there's that brown really helps make it pop. And then again, that black wash on the belt looks good, nice and leathery. Pants look great. I love all these ruffles, I guess you'd say, but yeah, looks really, really good on there, guys. And then the boots, same thing, has that black wash on it, has a nice reflecting to it, looks really nice, looks just like, paramilitary, like you're trying to survive some sort of apocalypse. Now, as for the articulation, he is super articulated, but there's one major flaw that we'll get to here in a second. But let's go ahead and just do the rundown here. So his head can go down that far, which is really cool. Head can go back about that much. And then what I like is that the ponytail is actually articulated, so you can get some clearance with the head, and it is, they said, you see they lined it up with the back, so you can flick it around whichever way you deem fit, even if you want to be like, woohoo, troll doll. And then his torso, 360. Again, I don't like to spin my figures all the way because I'm always afraid something bad's gonna happen. Okay, his arms can go up when it's down this way, not so much up because his biceps or triceps, whatever these are right here, little too big, but if you spin it then you can complete it. He does have the upper bicep goes 360 on both sides, and then that almost a double jointed elbow, which, so it's not too bad, looks good like that, so good stuff there. Wrists do spin 360 at the cuffs, and then they do go come here up and down, so you can kind of get a good thing there. And then what I like about this one in particular, let's get a close-up of this because this is really neat, and I hope that they do eventually keep this on other figures. Yeah, that looks good. Is his fingers are articulated, so you can get open and closed. On both hands, so that's really cool. So if you want to hold something, you have that option. But again, with these, you have to be careful because they can always flop open. So it's kind of a give and take, but I really think that looks really neat that you kind of get that option on the hands. Ab crunch, down, pretty good. Back, not so much, so it's kind of crap. Legs can go out about that far. And then this is where we start to kind of get into a problem, because as you can see, his legs right here, you see where the joint is right there. This thing spins independently. So if you accidentally twist it too much, see how this stays, but how his leg goes like that, and then it starts to try to spin independently of each other. So you have to kind of use your fingernails to stamp those into place, which is really frustrating. So that's probably the only thing about this figure that I do not like. He does kind of have double jointed knees, so that's not too bad for a Toybiz figure. That's awesome. No upper thigh cut, it's just that which we just talked about. He does have a boot cut underneath the cuff, which is really neat. And then he does have these, which McFarlane Toys has been using, which is really helpful. I mean, it looks kind of silly, but that does help when you're trying to get some kneeling positions. So the feet go down and up that much, and there is no real ankle pivot, so you're just kind of like crud. So you have to be real careful about that. So yeah, that's the articulation for Sabretooth in a nutshell, and I think it's not too bad. Other than the few things that I just stated, overall, the articulation is great. So here's Sabretooth. Next to the Marvel Legend figures that we've already gone over, here's Morph, Jean Grey, Weapon X, Sunfire, and X-Men. And all these figures, as you can see, he scales very, very well. So I have to say, for a Toybiz figure to have that type of articulation when this came out, and to just see them against its Hasbro counterparts, that is quite impressive, guys. Like, I mean, I'm sure they'll probably release a Hasbro version of Victor here, but for the time being, I think this one does very well. I'm glad that I picked this one up, and you guys should too, because you can see the scaling between him and Sabretooth looks correct. And then again, Sunfire here with his little tip on his head makes him kind of the tallest. And then of course Nate here and Morph kind of having the normal 6-inch look. And Jean, again, just all around looks great, guys. So yeah, if you're a big fan of the Age of Apocalypse, these are definitely figures that you want to have, in your collection. And I cannot wait. And let's put Sabretooth up next against one of his proteges, or he kind of considers her a daughter. But here is the Marvel Legends Blink, and she came out long before these figures came out, and I will eventually do a review on her. If you guys are interested, let me know down in the comments. But see, you put her up against these Age of Apocalypse and this Sabretooth as well, and they just all blend in absolutely wonderful. So if you guys are looking to build an Age of Apocalypse team, these are figures you definitely want to pick up. Overall, guys, this is an awesome figure. Yeah, there's a couple of beefs, like I wish his hair was more blonde. The leg articulation is a little frustrating, but still, for a Toybiz figure to put up against your Wild Child, definitely one that you're going to want in your collection until Hasbro releases an updated version. I'm really happy with my purchase, especially just sitting around and photographing him and posing him. I had a great time with this guy. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this figure, please first and foremost see if your local comic shop can order it for you, or see if they have it in the store. If not, then as per usual, check out the secondary market. And if you guys have enjoyed this review, we definitely appreciate it if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little mutant bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. You can come to the channel, and we love to have a dialogue with y'all down in the comments below, or on our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description below. So stay tuned. We're going to have a photo slideshow of Sabretooth here at the end of the review. And with that said, thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.